I'm David O'Connor with KTM North America. We're here at Milestone Motocross today to test the 2017 450 SXF with TransWorld. Okay, so some of the new features on the 2017 is a new top clamp. The top clamp is more rigid and gives a better feeling through the handlebars. Also new on the bike is fork tubes. From the lower clamp down, it's 1mm lower. That's a big improvement on flex and feel on the track. Okay, so coming to the rear of the bike, we have a new revised shock setting. So also with the bike is new aluminum head stays, which is a great chassis package, works great with the new suspension settings. Now this is a new great feature. As you can see, this new switch hasn't been on the previous models. So what it does is there's a map select switch. Number 2 is aggressive, number 1 is standard. Also on it as well is TC, traction control. So once the orange light is on, traction control is turned on for your complete moto, not just a start. So it can be turned on or off. Also, it still has the launch control like last year. To turn that on, hold the 2 buttons, your FI light will flash here, and then you're in launch control for your start. That's going to rip you a whole shot. Okay, so a feature we've always had on the bike is the Brembo brakes, work also. This year we have a new rear brake pedal. It's 5mm longer, new brake pad material. The actual feel of the bike, it's a lot more progressive braking feeling. The wheel package on the bike is great. It comes with a polished hub, XL rim, a Galfer wave rotor, and then it comes also with the new MX3S Dunlop. So the AER48 air fork, really simple system to use. You have this side, which is compression, no screwdriver needed, you can do it on the fly. The bottom of the fork has the rebound clicker, and then on the air side, really easy. So we have 1 chamber, so you set your air pressure, it's pretty much like your spring. You can do up in air, lower in air, whatever your weight is. It's a really easy tunable fork.
Hey, this is Rich Taylor with TransWorld Motocross. We are out here in July in Riverside, California at Milestone Raceway. It's a beautiful day. It's only about 100. Track is amazing. We're riding the 2017 KTM 450. This bike absolutely crushed it in our shootout last year. Just pretty much everybody who got on it thought it was badass. Turned good, stable, motor, just about the best motor there is. For 2017, they didn't do a lot of changes, but the changes they did actually helped a ton. We'll start off with just a couple small ones. Some aluminum head stays on the motor. It just kind of makes the bike feel a little bit better in the corners. Not a big deal, really. Sort of a big deal if you're really sensitive. Top triple clamp, a little bit stiffer, a little more rigid. And let's face it, the biggest problem with the KTM last year was the forks. Actually, for the last couple years, the 4CS, SC, 45, whatever they were, forks were, if you talk to anybody, were kind of a big disappointment, maybe. They just were what they were. Ask your forearms if you ride one after a couple laps, you probably would agree. They've changed it. Those are gone. And according to David and everybody we talked to, they will never come back. So what they have done is they've gone with an air fork. I've had my reserves on air forks the past couple years. I haven't really liked them. But what they've done is kind of a cool, little bit of a different system. It's an SFF type fork where it's in just one side. But there's only 1 chamber, and that chamber has a valve to the outer chamber so that it balances itself. So you don't need to put air in 3 different chambers. You put it in 1 chamber, balances itself out. And believe it or not, it has more of a sort of a normal fork feel than most air forks out there. Personally, I really don't like air forks. If you read TransWorld, you've heard me talk about it before, but I just don't like the feel of it. You know, I grew up racing with spring forks, and I like the feel of the front wheel. When we went with air forks, you kind of lose some of that feel. This fork, believe it or not, has some of that conventional type feeling. I can feel the ground a little bit better than most air forks or pretty much all the other forks out there that I've tried. It just kind of settles a little bit better. It still has an air fork feel, but you know, the positive side is it is a better feel. I did like it, you know, I did feel like I could tune it in. I went in a couple clicks on rebound just to get it to settle and to stick a little bit better in the corners, and it actually worked. They've gone with a little bit thinner tube in the fork, gives it a little bit more flex just so you can feel the ground a little bit more. Everything else they pretty much kept the same. The motor is still amazing. You know, Milestone, if you're familiar with it at all, it's a little bit of a tight track. This motor is probably way too fast for this track. It rips. It absolutely hauls butt. Handling wise, you know, the bike turns good just like it did last year. Balance is good. You know, the shock, they changed the color of the shock, so that's a couple seconds a lap, I think. But it works well. You know, I'm joking, of course, but it's balanced well, works good out of corners, doesn't lift too much coming into corners. I actually went in a couple clicks on rebound on the shock as well, just to settle the whole bike down. And overall, man, I really liked it. You know, the KTM, like I said, killed it in our shootout last year, and it's going to be probably the bike to beat again this year. Another super bitchin' feature that KTM came out with is the traction control. Now the mapping is up here. You've got two different maps, which like the Dungy, the special limited edition bike had the last couple of years, where you could switch the maps to a mellow map or a more aggressive map. Well, now it's got that on the production normal 450, but it also has traction control, the TC button up here. And it's kind of funny, man. You can, you know, when the track's slippery insides, if you know it rains and you're here at Milestone and it's hard as a rock and it's slippery, icy, you hit this traction control button and it kind of retards the timing. You can just mash the throttle and it won't allow the tire to spin too much, so you get really good traction coming out of turns and on slippery ground. It actually really works. Obviously, it slows the bike down a little bit. If you have a lot of traction, you don't want to use it, but that's why it's called traction control. Really cool feature that, you know, once again, KTM, electric start, hydraulic clutch. Now it's got this feature right on the handlebars. The other guys better keep up, man. It's a really cool thing to have.